Welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. This week, we'll take you to the East Brunswick Jewish Center to see attorney Alan Dershawitz. Find out more about the Battleship New Jersey's 50th anniversary celebration and the current exhibit at the Quietude Garden Gallery. These stories, including the Township Council review, and much more are coming up after this.
This is John Denver speaking for Tree City, USA. We need to plant more trees and make a commitment to their care. For more information, write your state forester or the National Arbor Day Foundation. Join me and plant a tree.
When it's a matter of human injustice, when most other attorneys won't touch it, who will? Attorney Alan Dershawitz thrives on cases no one else wants. Some of his clients have been the late Meyer Kahana, head of the Jewish Defense League, boxer Mike Tyson, and hotel queen Leona Helmsley. Thursday, April 15th, Dershawitz came to the East Brunswick Jewish Center to speak out for Operation Exodus, a campaign which has been saving hundreds of thousands of Jews from the former Soviet Union and Ethiopia to escape the ethnic fighting and rising anti-Semitism.
We need to make sure that there is not a single Jew anywhere in Eastern Europe, anywhere in Ethiopia, and anywhere in the world who is denied the right to go to Israel and get housing and a job because we haven't paid for it. We have a privilege. We are the richest, most successful, most powerful Galut Jewish community in history, and we owe our brothers and sisters in the same way that if our parents had made a left turn and their parents had made a right turn and we had ended up in the Soviet Union and they had ended up here, that they would owe us. You know, we're all so proud of our success. We're all so smart and we're all so successful and have such great acumen in business. We're all damn lucky. That's what we are. We're lucky we live in the right generation. We're lucky we live in the right place. We're lucky that we live at a time and an age where our abilities are able to be recognized. A lot smarter people than us lived in Poland and in Germany and in Minsk and in Pinsk and in Kiev and never made it to high school. And their talents were not able to shine through. We're lucky. And because we're lucky and successful and affluent, we owe a debt. Whether you feel you owe a debt because you have a religious feeling that we're lucky because it's God's will, or because of some sense of ethnic identity and pride, or just because of some sense of simple justice, we cannot, even if this is a tough year, even if I'm asked to make a speech for money on April 15th, boy, talk about timing. We cannot afford to let our personal decisions, our personal preferences, affect the lives and welfare of other people. What an opportunity we are blessed with. Think if any of us could turn the clock back to the 1939-1945 period. And if we could dig deep into our pockets, really deep, and save a single Jewish life, is there anybody in this room who wouldn't do that? Is there anybody in this room who wants to have to tell their grandchildren 30 or 40 years from now what some of our grandparents had to reluctantly tell us? We couldn't do anything. We couldn't help them. We had no power. We don't have that excuse. We have the power. We can help them. I don't want to have to look my grandchildren in the eye and tell them I missed an opportunity. I got a new car that year, but I missed an opportunity.
With the power struggles now going on in Russia, many Jews believe the door which has so recently opened, allowing many of their friends and relatives to emigrate to Israel, will slam shut once more before they can receive their own exit visas. At Monday night's Township Council meeting, the council remembered East Brunswick police officer Marty Davis during a moment of silence. Davis died early Monday morning after an apparent fall in his home. Officer Davis, a longtime resident of East Brunswick, was 27 years old. In other council news, East Brunswick Manager of Recreation Karen Burke was recognized for her outstanding service to the township and to the county.
The Middlesex County Commission on the Status of Women held its annual conference on March 20th, 1993, and recognized the accomplishments of Karen B. Burke, manager of the East Brunswick Division of Recreation in the Department of Recreation, Parks, and Community Services, for her contributions to the quality of life in Middlesex County. And whereas Karen was recognized as an advocate for girls and women's sports, as well as for community recreation and volunteerism. And whereas Karen Burke has played semi-pro women's basketball and softball, has served as the district chair for the Administrative Council of New Jersey Recreation and Parks Association, has been appointed to the New Jersey State Governor's Commission for the Disabled, has served as the Executive Vice President of the East Brunswick Association for Brain-Injured Children, has received the NRPA National Programming Excellence Award, and was chosen by the Elks as Woman of the Year. And whereas the East Brunswick Township Council, at the request of Mayor Ira Oskowski, wishes to acknowledge Karen Burke's fine accomplishments. Now therefore be it resolved by the East Brunswick Township Council that it hereby honors and congratulates Karen V. Burke for her outstanding achievement.
Also recognized for their contributions to the township were 85 senior citizens who volunteered over 15,000 hours last year. Representing the seniors were Saul and Bessie Bernstein.
Whereas the month of April is traditionally observed as National Volunteer Month, and whereas the East Brunswick Department of Aging will recognize 85 senior volunteers on April 14th, 1993 for the contribution of over 15,000 hours of service to the Senior Center, to the Township of East Brunswick, and to other nonprofit agencies. And whereas these invaluable gifts of time, experience, and love are given to the residents of their community freely and without any expectation of monetary or other tangible return. Now therefore be resolved that the East Brunswick Mayor and Township Council hereby extends its congratulations and thanks each volunteer for his or her outstanding donation towards improving the quality of life for the residents of East Brunswick Township. Congratulations.
On behalf of the senior volunteers, we are very happy to accept this award. Thank you.
Judith Lebline, Director of Parks, Recreation and Community Services and host of Channel 8's Exercise the Right Choice, was on hand to receive the award for programming excellence from the New Jersey Park and Recreation Association. Mayor Ira Oskowski made the presentation.
I want to talk about Exercise the Right Choice. It's a Channel 8 local community television series that exposes residents to the many right choices available in East Brunswick Township. What makes this series so unique is that it doesn't focus on what the Public Recreation Department has to offer, but stresses everything that the public sector of recreation has to offer. Each month, a new segment is aired. The host is challenged with a new recreational activity, from wall climbing, you had to see that program, mamba lessons and fishing, to tap dancing, billiards, and baseball. There's nothing this host won't encourage residents to do. Even when she's scared to death or outfitted in wild equipment, and I saw that before. The host always reminds the viewers how much fun it can be to try something new and exciting. All of this happens while delivering the message to exercise the right choice and not alcohol and drugs.
Also at Monday night's meeting, Josh Brenner from Heery International, a design firm in Atlanta, outlined plans for the Blue Water Aquatic Center in East Brunswick. Mr. Brenner showed slides of renditions of the proposed facility and highlighted some of the special features. He also showed slides of other facilities across the country that his firm has completed. Included in the plan is a lazy river, a zero-depth entrance pool, a children's area that includes crossing activities, slides, and fountains. Construction on the project is expected to begin on Labor Day of this year and completed by Memorial Day 1994.
Hi, I'm Steve Sackman. Welcome to This Week in East Brunswick, and we are discussing the 50-year anniversary of the battleship USS New Jersey. We are with Jerry Gray and Walter Alkowski, both formerly residents of the USS New Jersey at one point or another. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
First, tell us, when did you join, Jerry?
I was on board from late 1946 until 1948.
And you were?
I was electrician's mate.
Okay. And Walter?
I served on board December 1943 to August 1944. I was one of the privileged first crewmen to take the battleship into its first battle in the Pacific.
Really?
Yes.
That must have been quite the experience.
Yes,
back
a
then.
very, very wonderful experience and memorial experience.
Now, Jerry, real quick, what did you do when you were on the ship, besides from being, what were actually your duties?
I mean, besides changing light bulbs.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a bit more.
That was one of our duties. Actually, electricians, they man the generators, the distribution board, which sends the electricity to the various components on the ship, and maintain all the electrical equipment on the ship, including the batteries for the small boats, and change light bulbs.
Now, you mentioned to me, didn't you, that you were on the crew that closed the ship up, or actually decommissioned the ship for the first time, right?
Yeah, in 1948, we put it into mothballs at Brooklyn Navy Yard, and Leo was on the crew that took it out of mothballs.
Putting it into mothballs, we're not really talking about mothballs. You're just talking about sealing up everything because they do stay in the water. When a ship is decommissioned, it's not pulled out of the water.
No, but what you have to do, all the equipment is dismantled, cleaned, repaired, put back together, and then sealed up. And the trick to getting it done right was that it was inspected every Friday, the work you did. If it wasn't right, you didn't get weekend liberty. You did it over the weekend, so you did it right the first time.
Okay. Now, Walter, what you did on the ship and what we're doing for the Historical Society and for the New Jersey itself.
Okay, I served in the boiler room number 2. I was a boiler operator and made the steam for the ship to move. And what we're doing now, I'm president of Battleship New Jersey Historical Museum Society. And it's been in existence since 1974, 1975.
No, that was the Battleship New Jersey Historical
Museum Society.
Okay, you just said it very quickly, that's all.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. And right now, what we're doing, they've been in existence for 15 years, and they've been dedicated and devoted to bringing the battleship back to the state of New Jersey. And now with the 4 battleships that have been decommissioned, we have an excellent opportunity to bring the battleship back home again. And we've been throughout the year, been dedicating and having exhibits and presentations throughout the state of New Jersey.
Well, fill us in a little bit on the exhibits and the presentations.
Okay, we have reserved 9 libraries throughout the state of New Jersey that we will have exhibits in each library from May the 1st to May the 30th. We have one here at East Brunswick Library that we will have an exhibit in.
And when's that going to be?
It'll be May the 1st to May the 30th.
Okay. Oh, they're all at all the libraries at the same time?
At all the libraries, yes, throughout the state, yes, on the same day, because May is the big day for the Battleship New Jersey. And we're also going to have our commencement, the start of our ceremony. We'll have a ceremony, a celebration at Monmouth County Library in Manalapan on May the 15th. And it'll be an hour and a half, 2-hour program. We have speakers that were served aboard the Jersey, and also legislators and freeholders that will speak.
So other than libraries, are there any other types of festivities that you're doing?
Yes, then that will start May 15th. And May 17th, we plan to have an exhibit in the State House in Trenton, New Jersey, in the Rotunda, from May 17th to May the 20th. And particularly, emphasis will be on May the 20th. We will join in the State Assembly chambers with the state legislators, and most of the USS New Jersey vets that live in New Jersey will participate, and all the dignitaries, tin can sailors, Navy Sea cadets, and all the the state of New Jersey residents that care to participate. This will be on May the 20th at 12:30 p.m.
And that's going to be where?
In State House.
Oh, at the
State House, right.
Okay.
In Trenton.
Now that's the 17th and the 20th, or
From the 17th we'll be on exhibit in the Rotunda, and on the 20th we'll have a meeting with the state legislators.
Okay, and what else is going on? I know there's a whole lot of things going on for the month of May, I think.
Right, and then from the 20th we will take our model of a ship, which we have a 9-foot model, and we will go to the Cherry Hill, Hyatt Cherry Hill in Cherry Hill. We will meet with the USS New Jersey Veterans Group, which is a national organization, and we will participate with their festivities. And we will go, May 21st, we will go to the Philadelphia Navy Yard and have a pierside ceremony and have dinner in the Officers Club. Then on May 22nd, we will have a dinner dance at the Cherry Hill Hotel. Well, the end of May, we have other activities. We're going to have an activity in Liberty State Park on July the 4th, with the USS New Jersey.
The USS New Jersey will be there?
No, we're going to have an exhibit and we'll have a presentation also.
Well, very
we're
good.
going to go throughout the state of New Jersey presenting our memorabilia and our exhibits.
Well, that's great. I'm sure that many of our viewers look with much anticipation, looking forward to seeing what's going on with the USS New Jersey, in hopes that they too can, as we were speaking about before, educate their children and/or themselves in terms of what it's all about. And thank you very much for joining us on This Week in East Brunswick. Thank you for watching us at home, folks, and we'll see you next time.
Good morning. My name is Cynthia Schachter, and this is the East Brunswick Department on Aging. Today I'd like to talk to you about a problem which is somewhat new in our society. The aging process has reached new levels. People are living into their 80s and 90s and even beyond. With this advanced age, other problems arise, problems of health, legal issues, and to this end, the Department on Aging is planning a forum that is directed to caregivers, people who care for elderly loved ones. The facilitator for this program is the counselor with the Office on Aging, Kathleen Enns, and she's here to tell you a little bit about it. Kathleen?
Okay, well, it's a caregiver support group which will be held for 6 sessions. It'll be beginning on Wednesday, April 28th, and it will be held for 6 consecutive Wednesdays. It will be for caregivers, primarily of East Brunswick, and the 6 topics that will be covered during these sessions will be dealing with issues such as the caregiver's need for respite, different housing alternatives, community resources that are available, financial and legal concerns, issues of normal versus abnormal aging, and methods for improving communication.
Thank you, Kathleen. These sessions will be held from 7 to 9 on 6 successive Wednesdays. People who are caring for their elderly loved ones have special difficulties and special rewards. We want you to know that help is available. If this program is appealing and fits your needs, please call the Department on Aging at 390-6809 and speak to Kathleen. We look forward to seeing you.
Hi, I'm Phil Hill for This Week in East Brunswick, and picking up where we left off last week, I have the supervisor of athletics for East Brunswick High School sports, Frank Noppenberger. And Frank, while bowling, swimming, and winter track aren't considered major sports, they are important sports, and we'd like to hear a little bit about their accomplishments.
I think you hit it on the head where some people don't consider them major sports. Our philosophy at East Brunswick, we treat everything the same. The athletes get the same letters, they get the same awards at the end of the year. I don't know what other schools do, but we certainly try to treat everyone the same. And as we were talking, geez, it just seemed like a few minutes ago, time just flies by. We were talking about the success that we had, and doing a little math, we've got like a 77% winning percentage for the winter sports, and that's extraordinary.
That's phenomenal.
And as I was saying before in the other show, it wasn't just the wins and the losses, it's the way we went about winning. But as far as the bowling is concerned, what I want everyone out there in the audience to do someday next year is go out and watch a bowling match. I know everyone's smirking, but Phil, I'll tell you, it's fun. The boys were in the GMC finals this year, and we were going against Bishop R. And long story short, we lost in the finals, by a few pins here and there. Just like in basketball, the pin wobbles and does go down. It means all the difference in the world. But it was exciting, and Gil Mangieri did a great job. The team was led by Chris Burke and Tom Messina, and they just did a great job for the boys bowling this year. The girls, the girls were like 8, 6, and 3, and they just couldn't get over that hump. They made it to the semis of the conference, but they just couldn't get through that, and they were captained by Wendy Hastings, and again, Gil just does a great job of developing the talent in bowling. There's a lot of coaching involved. I mean, until you're there, unless you see it, you don't know it. So I'll tell you what,
Tips.
Next year, you and I are going out there.
Okay, we'll check it out. Good.
I mean, I know you go to all the other events. You're getting bad. Every event. I see it every event.
Too many, right.
Next year we're going to bowling. And I think you mentioned winter track, too. Again, the girls in winter track, we were undefeated in the red division during the 80s, and again, it continued in the 90s. Coach Merrigan and the girls, and Coach McAvoy, Morris, and Mandy, again, developed another red division championship. They were led by names you've heard before, Kerry Herman, who was the indoor champ, and the Ravi sisters, Jeannie and Lisa, and the Bizup girls. And it just keeps rolling along, and I just hope no one ever takes winning, especially in girls winter track, for granted, because it just doesn't happen because we show up. It happens because of good coaching and good kids. So boys winter track with Coach Mack, little bit of a tough time this year, but the pleasant surprise was Jimmy Varick. First year running winter track, he was the indoor champ in the sprint. And you know, speaking of Jimmy Varick, you and I, as we said before,
quite a young man.
We discuss how kids should go out for other sports. Right now, he's a varsity baseball player. Last year, he was a varsity track.
I just think it's great. It makes them more well-rounded.
And he enjoys it. You can tell he's out there having fun, and he knows he's out there to play high school baseball to have fun. And I just had to throw that in. I just think it's good when we see kids trying other sports and being successful. Swimming. I keep telling Coach Pellegrino and Coach Haas, we got to get in the States. And every year we get closer and closer. And they've done a lot of off-season training. They're doing a lot of weight training with the kids, and it seems to be paying off. Irene Small was an outstanding swimmer for us this year. Chris DeLonzo, who's a young swimmer, is going to be around for a long time, and VJ Mistutin, who's been around forever as far as swimming. Just to mention a few names of some of the outstanding swimmers. Swimming, I think we're almost there, and I think we're going to be to the point where we're going to dominate the conference like the other sports. I can see it happening.
I'm not sure if fans know where swimming actually takes place for the high school team.
Well, it's at Middlesex County College, and you talk about, you know, going the extra mile, no pun intended, about they leave the school at 2:30. They truck over there in the freeze and in the cold, the snow, the rain, and whatever else comes down out of the sky. And then they go and they change, and then they swim, and it's hot in there. And then they bust in there, and then from there, they shower, they get on the bus, and then they fight Route 18 traffic. And you know, that's always fun. That's a pleasure.
Right.
And then they get home at 6:30, and they go home and they hit the books. And as a matter of fact, they must be hitting the books a lot, because I just saw the team GPAs we got back, and they're like a 3.1 as a team. Something like you and I used to do.
Right.
Yeah. So you talk about the athlete, the dedicated, the swimmers. I mean, someday maybe we'll have a swimming pool, maybe in your backyard or something, and we'll be able to just walk out of the door and over to the swimming pool. But my hat goes off to those athletes, because you talk about dedication.
Okay.
One of my favorites is cheerleading. As you noticed, we had girls this year. We had boys this year. We had 3 guys that added to Coach London's, Coach Mangino's squad.
And correct me, are they the only male cheerleaders in Middlesex County? They're the only ones I've seen.
I think we may be the only ones that are there all the time.
Yeah.
I think there's some impromptus or big games. I'll be a cheerleading type cheerleader. But as far as being on the squad every day and being at practice, I believe so. And I think we're going to get about 4 boys out next year, too. See, cheerleading is no longer what it used to be. I think now it's recognized for what it is, which is a sport. The NC2A has championships on ESPN all the time. And there's a lot of aerobics and, I should say, gymnastics. And there's a lot of tumbling and a lot of strength involved. So it's now being recognized as more of a sport than an activity.
It's like playing in a band. It's no longer just playing in a band.
Oh,
it's you got to be in shape. You got with the things
And our band, and John Kish does a great job with our band. I don't know how we get into the band, but they go all year round.
Yeah.
Everyone goes all year round, but the cheerleaders and Coach Mangino, Coach Quietude did a great job this year. I get complimented often on how we act and our demeanor out there and how professional our girls are. I mean, and it's good to hear those compliments. You know, you don't get those often.
That's for sure.
But when an administrator from another school calls you just to say, hey, I just want to compliment you and your coach on that cheerleading squad, it makes you feel good.
We talked last week about coaching itself, and I think May 6th we have a very special event happening, and one of the all-time greats at East Brunswick retiring, John Emery, and I know you want to say a little bit about John.
Well, I think the all-time great. I mean, to say that he is like the Mr. East Brunswick, he hates that word, that phrase. He doesn't want to be called that, and I wouldn't do that to him. But I think he's touched so many lives and took so many athletes that this little dinner that we're going to put together for him on, as you said, May 6th, is just a way of saying thanks, John. Thanks, Coach Emery, for everything you've done to us. John didn't want anything big. He didn't want anything exciting. He just wants it to be low-key, and because that's the way John is. He wants people to get together and talk and reminisce. We've invited a lot of people. I wrote Dave Wall, who's with the LA Kings, I believe now, or Sacramento. Sacramento.
Right.
And invited him to come back, and we're yet to hear from him. But John deserved it. He's given his all to East Brunswick, and every now and then we talk about it. And I said, okay, take the letter back, John, stay a couple more years. And you could tell he gets a little teary-eyed. Maybe he doesn't have reservations, but he knows he's going to miss it. Matter of fact, today he just asked me, he was telling me that he's not sure what he's going to say when he gets up there.
Well, I'll tell you this, there should be a thunderous turnout because John Emery is a class act, always has been a class act, a wonderful educator, and by everyone I talk to, just a super coach. So we hope a lot of people certainly turn out for that.
Right.
But Frank, I want to thank you. I've certainly enjoyed learning a little more about what happened in all the winter sports, and I'd like you to come back in the spring and join us. And again, thanks a lot. For This Week in East Brunswick, I'm Phil Hill.
Next Wednesday, East Brunswick will celebrate 15 years as a Tree City, USA. This year, the township's Arbor Day celebration will be held at East Brunswick High School on the lower soccer field and will begin at 1 o'clock.
Hello, I'm Sheila Tao. Welcome to Quietude Garden Gallery in East Brunswick. We will be opening for the season at 1 o'clock this Sunday, April 25th. The two artists that we are featuring for our opening show are Harold Sklar and Peter Allen. Harold has over 30 years' experience working as a sculptor. His new work being exhibited here is a departure from his previously brightly colored geometric sculptures. Working with bronze, steel, and brass, Harold creates sculptures of strength and sensitivity. They possess a lyrical quality of objects floating in space, yet they're grounded by his choice of material, metal. After Sunday's opening, which is from 1 to 5, our gallery hours are Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11 to 5. You're welcome on the grounds of the gallery at any time during those hours, or if you call for an appointment, we will be glad to have you come at other times.